Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning, spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a 2021 American science fiction and action movie called Apex. The movie takes place on an island where a man is being hunted by a group of hunters. He is then cornered by a hunter called Samuel Rainsford and he shoots the prey to death with his crossbow. Once eliminated, Rainsford collects the head of the man as a personal trophy. Before he teleports back, he tells the AI that the human hunting game is too easy and requests her to present a prey who can give him a real challenge. Back to the city, West, the game master of Apex, is monitoring a potential fighter that will be offered to be a prey for the next game. However, she is not satisfied with him as the last prey didn't even make it to midnight on the first day. A few moments later, she spots a bald ex-cop Thomas Malone, who is now imprisoned in a special cell because he is a very dangerous criminal. He has escaped from 3 prisons and is wanted in 47 states. West, who believes that Malone will be the best prey candidate, approaches him and asks him to participate in Apex as a prey. At first, he refuses, but when West reveals to him that he has 2 grandkids and she offers him freedom if he wins the game, the criminal changes his mind and decides to participate. The next game is about to start, and 6 very rich people are invited to participate as hunters. One of them is Rainsford. Malone is transported to Apex Island and arrives at a lodge where a hologram introduces the game to him. West explains that Apex has never lost a hunter and it is quite impossible for a prey to kill all the hunters. However, if Malone manages to kill all the hunters, he will be the winner of the game. He asks whether the hunters like each other, but West doesn't answer and disappears from the room. On the other side, hunters are starting to arrive. 5 of them are Lyle, Bishop, Eka, Jezza, and Carrion. The hunters seem to know each other, as all of them have participated in the same game before. Last but not least, the cold-blooded and ruthless hunter, Rainsford, finally arrives and the game has officially begun. West explains that hunters are allowed to choose and use every weapon and vehicle provided by the Hunter's Lodge. However, Rainsford orders West to remove all the vehicles because a prey stole their vehicle in the previous game. Other hunters do not dare to argue and comply with Rainsford's suggestion. West then reveals the prey's profile to them. The hunters, especially Lyle, are overconfident and underestimate Malone despite she says that he would be the best prey for them. Malone also has astonishing injury records, fractured skull, over 60 concussion, etc., which surprises the hunters that he is still alive. For the closing statement, she states that the universe just can't seem to kill him and hopes that one of the hunters will do it. On the other side, Malone learns about the island's terrain and starts making his move. Before he goes out, West states that a hunter is allowed to kill other hunters, which is favorable to the prey. The hunters start picking their weapons when Rainsford suggests they work together as a team and lure the prey into a trap. But the other hunters prefer to work alone and venture individually into the forests. Lyle, who claims himself to be fearless, starts exploring the forest and suddenly shoots randomly with his P90 while Malone is hiding and watching behind the bush. Lyle requests additional equipment to West and suddenly a bag containing a bottle of water appears in front of him. Not long after, Rainsford approaches Lyle and asks him the reason he participated in the game, but Lyle starts insulting him for no reason, telling him that he is sick for killing his own wife. Offended with his words, Rainsford grabs his gun and starts shooting Lyle until he dies. A few moments later, Bishop comes and Rainsford lies to him, saying that Lyle was killed by the prey. Bishop is not that stupid and knows that Rainsford is the killer. He threatens Rainsford that he will leak the fact if he doesn't do what he says after leaving the island. Not long after, Jezza, Eka, and Carrion arrive and Malone, who is eavesdropping on their conversations, distract them with a stone. The hunter starts shooting randomly to lure Malone out while he secretly sneaks in, manages to steal a gun, and runs away. Rainsford offers a strategy to the hunters, suggesting they discuss their efforts together, but they underestimate the plan and ignore him. Eka continues exploring the forest and discovers a sign while Bishop suddenly comes out of nowhere. As usual, Malone secretly watches them from a distance. They start running on each other due to their personal ego, claiming that the one is better than the others. Malone shoots them with the stolen gun and manages to hit Bishop, but he is saved by the bulletproof vest. The prey chases Eka and kicks him, causing him to fall off the hill and passes out. Bishop finds Eka, whose leg is broken, and threatens him. He tries to fight back, but Bishop starts getting psychotic and grabs a knife, stabbing his partner to death. Bishop leaves and meets Carrion, who almost takes off his head with a machine gun. He tells Carrion that Eka was killed by the prey and he was too late to save him. Carrion insists on seeing the corpse so he can bring the body back to his father, who is willing to pay for it and gives him a proper funeral. The first day of hunting is over, and the hunters return to their lodge. Rainsford meets Jezza, who has been sitting there all day, and informs her regarding the position of the prey. Not long after, Carrion arrives, bringing Ekka's corpse with him, and tells Rainsford and Jezza that Bishop is the perpetrator behind it. The next day, Malone wakes up while flashbacking his gloomy times in the prison. He then tries to enjoy his temporary freedom by shuffling around in the forest, eating berries which are radioactively mutated. Suddenly, West appears and warns him not to eat the berries because they may cause hallucination, but he doesn't care. She then tells him that he only needs to survive 6 more hours and he will be safe. Before she disappears, she also suggests Malone to team up with Bishop because he has been kicked out by the remaining hunters. In the middle of the forest, Jezza impulsively orders a huge amount of Lyle stock in the stock market because she realizes that the price will skyrocket once his death's news has spread. However, she accidentally steps on a Bishop's landmine. She begs him to deactivate the mine while pointing the gun at him, but he refuses to do so. He starts talking nonsense and offers Jezza to team up so they can take over the lodge from Rainsford and eliminate him. Long story short, she manages to lure him and makes Bishop take over her place. Unfortunately, after being cocky and attempting to shoot him, Jezza steps on another landmine. Bishop manages to press the correct detonator, and the landmine explodes, which blows Jezza into pieces while he steps away from the mine and nothing happens. Not long after, Malone realizes that the gun he is holding is empty. Bishop then spots Malone and starts firing him, but all missed. He offers Malone to work together, claiming that they can become more dangerous together than ever. But Malone claims he prefers to work alone. Instead, he provokes Bishop by telling him that he is not worthy and he is not skillful enough to kill Rainsford. Bishop is offended and accepts the challenge to eliminate Rainsford. He returns to the lodge where Rainsford has been waiting for him. Rainsford can easily read his move and predict what Bishop is going to do, which makes him hesitate to attack. Suddenly, Carrion comes into the armory. Bishop then engages in a fist-to-fist fight with Carrion. While fighting, Bishop reveals that he has killed Jezza and he seemed to enjoy it, which makes Rainsford furious and joins the fight. It becomes a 2 versus 1 battle and Rainsford eventually manages to kill him. At first, Carrion is reluctant to team up with Rainsford because he thinks that Rainsford is sick and a monster. But after a long discussion, they eventually get into a deal that if Carrion kills Malone, then he would give him a lot of money. Carrion gets back to the forest, attempting to kill Malone. However, Malone is just too strong and manages to slash his neck with an axe. Realizing that Carrion has been killed, Rainsford orders West to call out the 5 mongrels from the outside world to help him. They immediately arrive at Apex Island and starts hunting Malone. Carrion congratulates him because Rainsford has never used the mongrels on a prey before. The prey easily eliminates all of them, which makes Rainsford panic and calls out more mongrels. Long story short, Malone manages to reach the lodge. Rainsford and Malone come face to face to talk to each other. Rainsford believes that he is the apex warrior and states that it is impossible that Malone will survive, so he asks him to beg for his life. Malone refuses to do so and they engage in a gunfight, which ends up burning the entire lodge. However, only Malone comes out alive and he's taken back to the real world, officially becoming the first prey to win Apex. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.